So are you one of these people that just hits the pillow and then you just can't sleep? And you wake up in the morning thinking, oh, what a bad night. And this productive cycle of bad sleep just keeps on getting the better of you. Well, today I've got an absolute expert on this, is Yewande Rolph, and she is a natural wellness strategist and also owner of the Natural Fragrance Company. Yewande, welcome to this little Zoom tennis interlude to talk about this most important function of sleep.
Thank you very much. Fine, thank you.
And I guess most importantly, did you have a good night's sleep last night?
I did, yes, I did.
Happy days. I wasn't so good on sleep last night. I have to confess, I was doing an Australian coaching program last night that finished about 12:30. So my sleep quotient last night wasn't good, but I'm playing catch up tonight. So I think I'll be all right. So all things sleep. Why is it so important to us? That's a sort of basic question.
It's a very, very good question. Sleep is vital to us because when we sleep, our brain kind of does a lot of categorizing of memories. It kind of does healing of our bodies. And sleep is so important that a lot of neuroscientists say that you've got to, this really important thing is sleep, eating, and exercise. Kind of they're in the top three things we have to do to exist. And if we don't sleep, we kind of cut down our existence. So people who don't sleep are much more likely to die earlier. It's very, very important. Sleep is very important. Yeah.
Goodness me. So what about this sort of side hustle culture that people say you've got to burn the candle and just keep working till you drop and hustle, hustle, hustle? Where does that fit with your own doctrines of sleep?
Well, so if you keep working, you will drop. You will drop. I mean, you do get people in Japanese businesswomen and businessmen who will work, and they literally drop dead. It's terrible.
Okay. All right. Well, that brings it home to me pretty starkly.
Sorry to be so morbid.
No, it's absolutely pertinent. And what made you get into this then, in terms of how did you find yourself becoming a sleep strategist?
Very good, very good. So I started my company in 2013, and most of the people want to rest and relax. So they want lavender spray or lavender bags or lavender essential oil. So since then, it's been really important. Most of my customers say, oh, sleep is something I want, rest is something I want, relaxation is something I want, and I want to feel uplifted and relaxed. And that comes up time and time again. And since lockdown, people have been asking me to do education slots in different online events for tips on how to sleep better. So it seems to be, since lockdown, the first lockdown, people have become more, anxious and more, thinking I can't sleep. So I've had to change more and focus more on sleep because of that. People have just been they've been asking me for tips on sleep. Yeah.
And I understand you run a sleep clinic on a Friday. Is that right?
Yeah.
What kind of things can we expect to see or hear or feel as part of that?
So I went to a seminar by a guy called Keith Grover, and he said that basically if you have expertise in an area, you can start a clinic or a surgery online where it's half an hour when people come up and talk about any issues they have with sleep. So it's an open forum for people to jump on to say, I want to know about sleeping, breathing, exercising. Also, they may want to know about things they need to do, like, having caffeine in the mornings only and not in the afternoons, things like that to help them to rest and sleep more. And I also bring other people like chiropractors or people who deal with magnets or people who talk about counseling or psychotherapy to do a 10-minute education slot to educate people more about different areas of rest, sleep and relaxation.
Okay. So if I'm preparing to go to sleep tonight and you're going to give me, I don't know, a gold star for each one of these tactics, I've got a cup of coffee in my hand, I'm looking at my phone, I'm thinking about all the bad things that have happened to me today, I'm stressing about tomorrow, and my partner's watching Netflix. Is that a good routine for sleep?
No, you don't get any stars for that, sorry.
Okay, so reverse psychology. What should we be doing to be ready for sleep then, in terms of some basic mechanics?
Sleeping in a dark room, not having the computer or any devices an hour before, ideally sleeping, making sure we maybe brain dump, write down anything that's bothering us, making sure that we empty our bladders, before, hopefully an hour before sleeping, but before then we could maybe have chamomile tea or something calming to calm us down, and making sure that we have all the things ready that we need. So if you wake up in the middle of the night and you need a glass of water, maybe have water next to you with a lid on. And if you're nervous about, the kids, maybe have the monitor next to you so you can hear them. So things near you so that you need. So like you're putting things near you that, so if you want to read just before bed, a book near you. So making sure that you're preparing yourself to concentrate just on sleep, hopefully for 8 hours.
Okay. And if we start to burn that sleep candle and it becomes a long-term negative impact, what are the kind of things that can do to our bodies and our nervous system as a long-term impact?
Yeah, so for the mind, people can be more anxious, they can worry more, and for the body, people feel pain more if they don't have enough sleep, and also they're more, the immune system is not as strong, people, so they're more likely to have colds, and they're more likely to have things appear on their skin, because a lot of my customers, they say, oh, what it is, I've got stuff on my skin, and I say, now you stressed? And very often they are stressed and they haven't had proper sleep for a while. So it's making sure that all these things are in place. So I would say that a person should have a routine, maybe go to bed at 11 and wake up at 7, so that they're actually in bed for 7 hours. And if they can't sleep, I try and get them to do exercises, which are to do with breathing exercises or releasing tension in different areas of their lives. And they're making sure that they kind of try and do that for 3 weeks, and then hopefully it becomes a proper routine, a habit.
Okay. And I know that I've got a Garmin watch, and it seems to give me some indicators about my sleep. And it says that I've got deep, light awake, REM. Can you tell me anything about the quality of sleep that we go through during our sleep pattern?
Yeah, so we start with light sleep, and then we go into deeper sleep, then we do REM sleep, then we do a deeper sleep, and it's about a 90-minute cycle. So by the end of the night, hopefully we want to have about 5 of those. If we have 6, if we have 8 hours sleep, we want to have about 5 or 6 of those cycles. So it's not too bad if someone wakes up when they have a light sleep, they can go back to sleep. So some of my clients, they wake up in the middle of the night and they think, what am I doing? I'm wide awake. And the things that they try to do is, I say, deep belly breathing really helps them. Releasing physical tension helps them. And some people just listen to an audiobook that they've listened to before, and it helps them drift into sleep. And some of them kind of adjust their temperatures as well. Some of them are menopausal, and quite a few of them use lavender on their pillow. So I knew a lady who used to own a pub before lockdown, and it was very difficult for her because she'll be waking up in the middle of the night thinking of things to do. So she used the lavender spray for me she brought from me on that pillow, and she dripped into sleep. Wake up in the middle of the night and sometimes write down some quick things that she needed to remember, then use it again, and then go into a deeper sleep, and then wake up in the morning.
I know there are particular pressure points on the body where you could also apply those sensory oils to try to get you to be even more sleep focused.
Yes, on the temple sometimes, on the neck, and sometimes on the wrist.
Okay. Yeah. Good. And what about individual people that have come to you with some chronic sleep problems, Yewande, and then you've left them with a completely different skill set associated with sleep? Without naming names, could you give me an example of how you help somebody?
Yes, one of the ladies, she came to the sleep clinic for 6 weeks, and every week she was getting better. So the first week she said, oh, I wake up in the middle of the night and I don't know what to do. And we've made some suggestions that she should try not to drink alcohol straight before going to bed, kind of have a gap. So she implemented that. And then she also implemented buying a headband, which had Bluetooth, and she could listen to audiobooks, and that really helped as well. And then she decluttered her bedroom so that it was a more she could concentrate more on sleeping rather than books everywhere. It was difficult because she had a flood, but that was so. But she was able to move them so that was better for her, so that she didn't think, oh no, I've got books everywhere. So she was able to put them in different places and have a more kind of conducive bedroom for sleep. And also she started doing deep belly breathing as well when she woke up in the middle of the night, and releasing tension. And within 6 weeks, as sleep got gradually better. It does sometimes takes time.
Well, it sounds like a really good experience for her. And how has that benefited her from where she was to where she is now in terms of some of the outputs that she's now feeling?
She feels more alert during the day. She feels more productive during the day. And she feels as though she's not in, doesn't have an afternoon slump as well. So, because when she wasn't sleeping very well, she'd have an afternoon slump, and it was difficult for her to rest because she had 3 dogs, and it wasn't easy for her to rest in the afternoon. But because she was able to rest better during the day, she was able to feel more alert during the day and even do more gardening, things like that, even more during the day rather than do them at weekends. She had more energy during the day.
Wow. And this power nap, this sort of slump thing you talk about there, I know I have some points in the day where I'm just feeling a little bit not quite on it. So is it good to sort of recognize that and have a little kip in the daytime and have a power nap, or not?
As experts disagree. From my point of view, if you're feeling sleepy, tired, I think you should have a power nap during the day. Ideally, not more than half an hour, so that you can save your sleep for nighttime. So wait till you're feeling sleepy, tired, have a power nap, and that should keep you going until bedtime. Okay.
And I know a lot of some of the gurus that I listen to on personal development, they talk about the golden hour in the morning is a really creative time to try to get all those thoughts out. And I certainly find that as part of my morning routine, is that I'm really up for it and in those mornings. Any idea why that happens? Is that you wake up with this real sense of freshness and creativity?
Usually happens if you had a good night. Some of my clients don't get that because and they're not morning people and they haven't had a good night. So I say to them, try if you can to rest, make sure that you've got enough rest. And some of them sleep until say 8 o'clock and then they feel better. But if they feel as though they can't, just maybe just try and do things a bit slowly. And then when they feel more awake and alert, they can have that golden hour. So the golden hour doesn't have to be as soon as you wake up. For some of my clients, it could be later on when they've got feeling more energetic.
Okay.
And other people feel that more in the evenings. They're more productive in the evenings because of their circadian rhythm. So everyone seems to have a different rhythm, but most people it would be mornings, but there are exceptions.
And what about my week? Sometimes, my sleep will be really bad on some days and then it will go back up again. Is it okay to sort of look at an average over a number of days and go, well, all right, I compromised it Monday, Tuesday, but at least I put it back in the tank on sort of Wednesday, Thursday? Is that acceptable or not?
I think that is acceptable because we're human and things happen to us. So the ideal would be to be able to, for a person who's an ideal sleeper, they should sleep 7 nights a week undisturbed and they can have 1 night disturbed. So if you're an ideal perfect sleeper, you have that 1 day window which you may not sleep well. So okay. I would, yeah.
And how are you with planes and trains? Is that a good place for you to be sleeping, or is that not an ideal place for you?
I think that if you can sleep on planes and trains, that'd be great. Just sleep and rest. There's nothing wrong with that. But some people can't, can they? They just, I just can't sleep on these planes.
Hey, it'd be good just to get on a plane, let alone sleep on one. Yeah. I'm just going to be awake the whole time and go, wow, I'm on a plane. I can see things. I'm traveling somewhere. I'll be so excited. Yeah. Very good. Anything you want to come back to me and challenge on in terms of my sleep and patterns of or not?
I think it's good to be able to have that trigger that changes you so that you have good patterns. But what do you think can maintain that momentum to carry on sleeping well and looking after yourself?
Well, I definitely have habits that I really sort of measure myself to it, and sleep is a key part of that. And I always strive to have a rolling average of 7 hours sleep. and maybe it's not a good thing, but this is on my wrist, and it then connects to an app, and then it gives me a sleep record of how well I've done. And as soon as it goes under the 7 hours, it says to me, you're pushing this too hard, you're compromising on your sleep, you must get the quotient back up again and get yourself back above the 7. So that's a really important metric for me. And some of those things you talk about preparation for sleep, and how that hour, getting rid of the tech, putting into a book, chamomile or oat leaf tea, sleeping in a dark room, really, really important tactics. And it's like anything, it's a system and a habit, and the more you make the dots connect together, the more solid the habit becomes. But I know that sometimes I have real problems with sleeping, and it's generally due to anxiety causing issues, whether it be cash flow or finance or client, and that mechanism you talked about of dumping your head onto a piece of paper. And sometimes I call it my worry page, is that I'll sort of say, that's my worry page, I've parked it, thank you very much, I'm going to close the book, I'll go and visit it tomorrow, but at least it's not in here and it's been put somewhere else. So I advocate so many of your tactics, and I'm sure there's way more that we could discuss and learn from. But let's get people to your sleep clinic, and let's get it known. So how do we book your sleep clinic? How do we find more about you and the Natural Fragrance Company?
I've got my website, naturalfragrancecompany.co.uk, and also people request the Zoom recurring clinic, and I'm happy to send it to anyone, and they're very welcome to come. It's anyone who is interested in improving sleep in any way. We even have people on to talk about the ideal sleep. Some people who don't have any problem sleeping will come on and talk about how come they have that, so it's for anyone who wants to improve or interested in improving sleep. Okay,
well, assuming you're watching this on the social or on the YouTube channel, the link will be in the text somewhere, so look out for that. As long as it's a recurring appointment, Yewande, then we'll make sure people can pick up on that Zoom link and go from there. What's the next chapter for you in terms of the Natural Fragrance Company and the sleep clinic? What are you excited about coming up in the next few months for you?
I'm really excited about doing my course, which is From Stress to Rest.
I like that. Stress to rest.
Yeah.
That has a certain ring about it. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I love statements that have got an outcome. It's stress to rest. What am I going to get? Oh, well, I'm going to be stressed and I'm going to finish rested. That sounds like a good result. And when does that start?
Well, it's going to be starting. People can start on a Monday, any Monday, and then do it for 6 weeks. So that's the shortest time. But if people want to do it less time they can, or more time they can, ideally 6 weeks, and it's going to be every Monday you can start. So I want to serve as many people as I can, so that and then there's an accountability every week to say, have you been, what do you want to do, get out of it, what have you been doing, can I help you in any way? So you're accountable for making sure you follow the exercises and making sure.
All right, final question for you, and this might be difficult. Kids and technology seem to be one in hand together, and certainly they seem to be in bed together. How can we try to educate them without us becoming boring old adults about how technology doesn't serve them well in terms of their sleep patterns?
Sometimes we have to confiscate it and say, take it away from them, and when they're quite young, to say, you're only allowed to have it till 9 o'clock or something, and then take it away. And then when they're older, when they go into university, or when they're working, it's kind of making sure that they know that it's looking after themselves, having your 5 a day of vegetables and fruit, drinking enough water, doing exercises, having positive thoughts, things like that, having regular checkups. So it's kind of part of what makes you well, not to be on the computer all the time, making sure you concentrate on sleep, making sure you drink water, making sure you have friends who support you. So it's a whole part of all your wellness and well-being, and doing things that work for you instead of going down the negative path, it's being the positive part. So I would educate people and encourage them to actually do that, so they have a virtuous circle. I call it a virtuous circle. So they feel better, and then they do it, and then they carry on doing it, and then they carry on feeling better.
I like that. I know a particular household who all have a commitment that all the devices go in the kitchen to sleep, but that's the device's sleep place.
Great.
And mum, dad, kids all put their phones in their little charging docks in the kitchen, and everybody's kind of working to the same rhythm. Because the worst thing, you ask your kids to do one thing, and then mum and dad are sat there scrolling on Facebook or whatever it might be at a late night, and it's do as I do, not do as I say. Or is it the way around? Yeah, it's the other way around, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, nice, good. Anything else before we hop off? What's the best way to find you on LinkedIn or social? Where do we find you on that?
Yeah, LinkedIn. If you just type in my name, Yewande Rolph, I'm on LinkedIn. You can send me a message. I'm very happy to reply to messages on LinkedIn. Yeah, that's the best place.
Okay. And what's your most popular fragrance? Which one do you love to give out and use yourself?
The one I love most for myself is Mandarin Room Spray. But the one I like to give out most is lavender, because that's the most popular.
Okay. Yewande, it's been lovely talking to you. I'm feeling good about sleep. It is 2:30 in the afternoon. I don't think it's quite ready for me to go for a nap yet, but I shall look forward to sleeping tonight contentedly, because I need to catch up from last night. So I need to do at least 8 hours plus tonight to make sure I'm back on my KPIs of sleep. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.